Welcome to the Generation Fit podcast. I'm your host, Coach Chris, with my co-host, Coach Brett. And today on podcast 35, we talk about how it's your fault on why you're overweight or fat. Enjoy. All right, so I think this podcast has actually been a long time coming, and it's more speaking to you guys as the mindset that you have coming into this. And all that means is you keep giving yourself excuses. And these excuses are what are holding you back from actually seeing the results that you want. And these are the most common ones that we deal with. And I think we should attack them head on so you understand that it's you that's holding yourself back. It is you yourself only, that is restricting you from getting results. So I think we're going to start off with the biggest one, and I'll let Brett absolutely attack your souls. So the first one is I don't have time. So Brett, what would you say to somebody that says to you like, "Hey, I don't have the time to prioritize my health or fitness"?
Everyone has the time to prioritize their health, right? Like, so health it's unavoidable, right? Like, you're gonna have to deal with it at some point, and you're either gonna spend the time now to, put your health first, to lose that weight, build a muscle, or you're gonna like deal with it later on in your life. It's gonna take years off the back end. Look, everyone's busy. Like, some people, I work with people who work like, 80-hour weeks. And, it doesn't mean, like, it's not going to be for everybody to be in the gym like 5 days a week, 6 days a week, right? Like, that's obviously for people with like a bunch of free time. But like, you don't need to be in there more days than not to make a positive change. Like, you could honestly just go in there twice a week as a starting point and maintain your health, improve it drastically from like a baseline of 0. Like, people who say they don't have time, like, I get it. I really do. Like, when I got into this, I was working like 80-hour weeks in restaurants. Like, it's a lot. It's like, kind of soul crushing a little bit. But end of the day is like, if it's really important to you, like, you can find that time somewhere. It's like, I was like waking up early just to go to the gym, just kind of like get moving. Because as I was getting older, when I hit like around like 28-ish, 29-ish, I just didn't feel so good. So when it's really important to you, like if it is truly important to you and you've had that come to Jesus moment with yourself, the time is there. You just need to like make way for it. And there's like a really solid argument for like doing things while you're busy. Like if you can make the time while you're busy, it's always going to be there for you. People have this idea that like, oh, eventually my life is going to become like, I'm going to ease up on work, or like, my kid's going to go to school and I'm going to have time then to do it. And that's all great and all that. You have this ebb and flow. That's cool. But if you don't start while you're busy and then you start while like things are lighter, then as soon as things get busy again, the time that you carved out for it no longer exists and you're going to like fall off the wagon. So honestly, I'd say like doing it while you're busier is even more important. It just gives you so much more control, because then if you have the time while you're busy, it's always there for you. You're always going to have carved that time out for you when your life slows down, rather than just falling right back off the wagon as soon as things pick up again, because like things always pick up again. No one gets an easy ride all the time. So that's my hot take. I don't know. People just need to prioritize it highly. If you can't find time to go to the gym twice a week, like, I just don't think you value it that highly. I just don't think you see the importance of like keeping yourself healthy and strong and, feeling good, and that eventually just comes back to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how about you, sir? How do you feel about people not making, like, not having the time to work out?
I think, like you mentioned, right? It does come down to priority, right? And I think talking to guys that are desk working corporate men above 30 years old, there's going to be a ton of things being thrown at you, whether it be trying to get your promotion at work, working over 40 hours a week, other responsibilities like taking care of your partner, your family, your kids, whatever it might be. It's never going to end. I think that's the point. And I think you hammered it already, is there will never be a perfect time. The perfect time was yesterday, and the next perfect time is now. Because how bad does it need to get, right? I think the most famous quote is when the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change, is the time you'll actually take to pursue something, to change, right? And the question now just becomes like, how long will you keep waiting until you need to make a change? Is it that your clothes start to fit worse? Is it that you have no libido, that you have erectile dysfunction, which is one of the highest rising things happening in the US and in the world today because of our terrible lifestyles, because of our work focused stress. And you just got to think to yourself, like, man, do I want to end up like my family, like my friends and all of them? Because most of the world now is overweight, especially in the developed worlds. So when it comes to time, I guarantee you, I have somebody, or Coach Brett does, that works way more than you do, that still somehow fits it in, that has kids, still fits it in, that has, you name it, anything under the sun, and they still get it in. And what it really comes down to is priority and a misconception. So if you're not prioritizing it, it just means it's not bad enough yet. So if you're going to keep waiting for it to be bad enough, wait till your metabolism is completely shot. Wait till you do gain another 20, 30, 40 pounds. Wait until your doctor has to tell you to do this before you put on medication, right? Or you can take care of it now when your metabolism is technically at its best. When you are busy, so you learn the skills to do this when you're busy. And so when life is busy, because you are going to try to get promoted, you are going to raise a family or have multiple kids or do things that are going to take a lot of your time, or hobbies that you'll have these skills to do it forever. And that's truly when it becomes power. So it's not that you don't have time, it becomes a priority and a misconception. That misconception is that you have to work out 5-6 days a week to achieve the body that you want. It's not true at all. What it really comes down to is having a structure, a system that is fluid, that is flexible to you, and the one that you enjoy, so you don't end up having this all or nothing mentality that we all both had. So that is my spew on I don't have the time. Is there anything else you want to touch upon on that one?
Nah, I think you nailed it.
All right, so that's the first jab at these people. So then
These people.
These people. Okay. I think the next one, this one hits home so hard because this is the one that really aggravates me, is I need to talk to XYZ, wife, partner, family, before I start doing this. Brett, what would you say to them that would change their mind? They'd be like, hey, this isn't right.
I don't know a single person that would go back to their wife and have a good faith conversation and have the wife be like, no, just keep being fat. You're good. Just like, stay the course, shave years off your life. I don't want to, just fucking, 20 more years instead of 40 more years of you, 100%. Let's just do that. You know what I mean? The amount you're spending in the long run, you're losing literal years off your life. You know what I mean? By doing this. So whatever amount of money it takes for you as an individual to get into it, you're going to make that money back in the time you get back for it. And the extra years you get to spend working and feeling good, and you get to enjoy yourself more doing it the entire time. Right? Nobody has that conversation and their wife is just like, yep, your health as is. Just keep on that fucking crashing trajectory. Hell yeah. But, it's just people, why would you, but it's also why would you come into this conversation without talking to your wife in the first place? This is something that you should be aware of. This is something that you should be considering the entire time. I really don't understand how people lack the agency to make their own positive health decisions. But yeah, what would you say to the people that need to ask their wife or family member or anyone else to get help with their health and fitness?
This one I want to just, oh my God, this one gets me fired up. And I think this one I get the most. And what it really comes down to is a improper delegation of responsibility. Because at the end of the day, who is going to be putting the food in their mouth? At the end of the day, who's going to be doing the workouts? So at the end of the day, whose fault is it actually? It's yours. Hence the name of this podcast. So the fact that you are now asking permission from your wife That's already an issue number one, because you're the one that's responsible for everything it is that you do in your life. And then also that you are the man, you are the leader of the household. You're the person that is going to lead the charge in being healthy and fit for yourself so you can set the example for her and your family or your future family. So at the end of the day, it comes down to you. So it's not her decision. Yes, can you respect her and tell her that, hey, this is an investment to me and to you because I will be healthier, I will be fitter, so that I can be here longer to spend more time with you, that I can also make more money because I'm mentally sharper, right? And also have a network of people because I'm probably be more positive and also have a better outlook at life, right? So I think the biggest thing here is that you have to take responsibility for this first. Because it's true, like Brett mentioned earlier, right? Are you going to go to your wife and say, like, hey, honey, I'm going to go, I want to go lose weight. And if she tells you no, are you going to blame her for the next 30, 40 years that you have high blood pressure, that you have high blood sugar, that you're going to lose a leg to diabetes because she told you, hey, honey, I don't want you to get fit? Like, you're going to resent her. And that's not something you're going to want to do, especially if you do love her. So if she really, truly loves you, and if you truly love yourself and want to prioritize you, it comes down to you. Nobody else. Don't ask your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your friends. No, it's you. It will only be you. And truly, if she says no and you still don't follow through with it because she says no, who's really running your life? Right? All your decisions that you're making, is it even yours? I'm going to be questioning your life after that. Because at that point, it's like we don't even want to work with people that push the responsibility away at that point. Because then you're going to be like, oh, well, this program didn't work for me. And then we're going to be like, well, we have a 92% success rate. And all the guys who just follow exactly what we do that's tailored to them get the results. So we track everything and you still blame us. See, it's more of a victim mentality. That's the issue. That's the issue first and foremost. So I can only say it's up to you. That's really the biggest thing. Do you have anything else you want to touch up on after that? After I just
Absolutely not. I think they've had enough. I think it's a submission right there. But
yeah. Oh yeah, this is gonna be just nailing it, coughing on the head, because I was fired up after a few calls the other day, and I was like, this is exactly what we gotta talk about, because if people understand where our heads are and they understand, hey, we don't all work with this guy, cool. Then you're just not the right fit for us, honestly.
100%.
Some guys just need to hear it, and honestly, we just need to be reminded more than we need to be taught. Somebody just needs, like, I just really want this focus of this podcast to be more of us being the coaches that you need to have, not that you want us to have. Imagine you come in and you just come in and be like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't do this, and we just tell you, oh, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do this, right? We're not telling you the truth, which is what you need to hear and what you need to do to get there. And that's the coaches that we are. We're not going to just get steamrolled by all your excuses. We're just going to tell you how it is, and if you don't want to do it, fine. You don't have to work with us. It's as simple as that. Okay?
That's it. That's
all
it.
Right. Now, I think the next big one is price versus value. So somebody comes to you and is like, yo, man, like I just found somebody cheaper and it just fits better in my budget. What would you say to that person?
So price is an interesting one, right? Like what I have realized is the people who are out there and they're doing like a ton of like budgeting, ton of like price shopping around for this kind of thing, is they're not really committed to the process in the first place. That's my big thing, right? Like I have worked with like lots of people and they'll like, oh, like, what do you have, like an introductory rate or whatever? And they'll invest like a small, tiny amount of money that's like, completely like doesn't phase them whatsoever. And the result of that is they just don't have the level of commitment. They keep wanting something for nothing. These are the same people who like, I'll come back to them and we'll be going over their diet later on. I'm like, yeah, but like I have, like, it's okay if I have like, this and that and the other thing, right? They'll have like, burgers and fries like every weekend. They'll have a few beer here and there. They're going out constantly. And it's because they just want to like, they don't want to put in the effort. That's my biggest thing is like, they don't commit their money. They don't commit their time. They don't commit like, the effort they need to receive the results. And it all starts with like making sure that your budget is just like having a proper budget for that. Plus, like if you're paying like so little for coaching in the first place, like that, a lot of that makes me feel like those coaches aren't really either A, they're just starting off and maybe they don't have the experience, which is, happens totally fine. Gotta start somewhere. Or or B is the coaches are just like not the kind of people who are willing to push back on the issues that you have, right? Like if maybe for that coach, they don't want to come on and have like, a half-hour battle of a phone call with you every other week, because like you're just doing all kinds of things outside your diet because it's not worth the time to them, right? Like so now they're just like, yeah, you can do that. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Just like hand waving a bunch of the missteps you're making, and I've never been about that, right? Like if you pay me a certain amount of money, like come hell or high water, I'm gonna make sure you're getting your value out of that. You may not like it, but like you're gonna get there. You know what I mean? That's. But yeah, how about you? How is what would you say someone looking for a cheaper option?
I think that we do get this one a lot, and it comes down to two major parts. So I'll break it down into two big parts. So somebody who's looking for a cheaper option, right? The issue in itself is 100% the mindset, right? Because you're thinking about the cost as money, right? You're not thinking about the other cost, which is like the gut hanging over your belt, not having the energy to keep up with your kids or to do the things that you actually enjoy, or having the confidence you want in the office, at the beach, or just not even having a sex life that you want, which also nobody talks about, and staying in a body that you absolutely freaking hate. That's the real cost, okay? And I think the sad part is that you think that you're doing your due diligence by trying to find all these other options, but it's actually procrastination in disguise, right? Because each day that's going by, you're researching more, you're trying to figure out more, but that's another day that you're not taking action to get closer to your goals. You're just looking at numbers, right? And to be fair, I want you to think about it like this, right? You've been trying to fix a 3-star Michelin problem because Brett was a chef, but you're looking at the McDonald's dollar menu for solutions, okay? It's like going to a gas station and expecting a gourmet steak dinner. That's like a slap in Brett's face right now.
A little bit. It's okay.
But that's exactly what you're doing with your fitness and health, right? You keep choosing the cheap option or I'm going to figure out on myself to save money, then wonder why you still feel like shit, why nothing changes, and why you end up right back where you end up, or here, listening to this podcast. So the question isn't if the coaching program is worth it or what it's cost, right? Because at this point, it was like, we have so many testimonials to the point where you can watch entire 24 hours worth of video of people being in this program, of us coaching people, because they get results. That's what we're proud of, okay? It's truly coming down to, do you believe that you will follow through, right? Do you actually think that you're going to pull through? Because all you're doing is delaying the inevitable. And what's actually happening is, again, a delegation of responsibility. You're pushing it away. You're pushing it into, the coaching program is too expensive, so I can't do it. I can't afford it, so I can't do this to myself. When in reality, you're thinking about the wrong cost, like I mentioned earlier. Right? And is it worth it to you? Like basically, I also like to frame it like this. What's it actually worth it to you? Right? Like when you're adding years of health, confidence, fitting better in your clothes, feeling better about yourself, right? So then you let go of that stress every time you look in the mirror. Like, is that worth it to you? Like, is that the worth? Right? Because you're looking at it as, I pay this much to get this result, when in reality, it's more of, you're feeling like shit, you don't want to feel like shit, you don't have a plan, and you don't know which plan works, and we have the plan. And this is literally what it is, so you don't have to do this ever again. That's what the actual cost is. Okay? So that's one. Right? And then also in terms of value, this is actually so big. The best clients I've ever had have paid the most money, and it meant a lot more to them. And it's because they have more skin in the game. It means that if I tell them to do something, they will do it because they think it's God's gift to earth that I know this information, and that they will execute because it's worth so much more to them. The person who drops, let's say, $10,000, but they have a net worth of $100 million, that's not even a penny to them. You think they will actually do what you want to tell them? Probably not. Whereas the person that throws down, let's just say, $10,000 but has a net worth of 20, I could tell him to jump off a bridge and he'll do it if he thinks he'll lose weight. So it's having skin in the game. And also, those guys are the best guys to work with because they will find ways to make it happen. They will get a second job. They'll ask and be more resourceful, right? To pay it forward, right? If they need to borrow money from a family member, if they need to work a second job, if they need to take a loan out, because they know it's the most important asset is them. It's their body, it's their health, which then they can develop a skill set because they're sharper and they're fitter. That's it. That's what it comes down to. And I do have a couple guys like that. I had Jeff, a basketball coach, who was a professor, and he was also a basketball coach, or a basketball referee. And his off time to pay for it. He had to drive Uber too. He made it happen. We have Jace. So if Jace, you listen to this, we love you. 18 years old. And what was he, an engineer? Right? He's a
engineer, yeah.
Yeah. He's an engineer at 18 years old and somehow found thousands of dollars to make this happen.
He's doing great too. He's like, Jace is fucking crushing it. Jace is like buried by work right now. Jace is like so much going on in his life. I think he works like 12 hours a day right now, but he's making weight loss progress every single week. It's tremendous. It's really, really solid.
Unbelievable. We have an 18-year-old with a job in college and still making it happen. I mean, and he's paying for it. He's paying for it, not his parents. Right?
Absolutely. Just the fucking man.
At the end of the day, it's just, is it worth it to you? Like, what's that worth it to you? You're looking at it the wrong way, right? You can either value it as, hey, I'm just going to say $10,000 because it's just absurd for some people to even fathom. Pay $10,000 to learn the skills, to be healthy forever, and so I don't ever have to worry about this again. Or push this down the line, procrastinate, and then pay for it all in medical bills, in time that you don't ever get back, right? All the energy that you've lost, all the people that you can't see or that enjoy time with because you're not fit, because you're not healthy, because you can't stand taking pictures with them, and you have a double chin, or your gut sticking out of your polos and your dress shirts. Like, what's it worth? Like, what's that worth to you at the end of the day? Because to me, I mean, and to Brett too, it's like, we love being in shape. I mean, yeah, we're probably on the other side of the spectrum, but it's not just, hey, I lift a lot of heavy weights. It's, I can put on any pair of clothes I want, and I love the way I look in. I can go to the beach, take off my shirt anytime. Hell, I love walking around naked, and I'm proud of it. I don't fucking care. People can listen to this podcast. I put so much time and effort into this, right? And I think now that I'm a father, it's like I got the energy to run around with my kids all the time, or a kid all the time. If he wants to do something, I'm throwing him around. I'm like WWE wrestling him across the living room. Man, I got all the energy in the world. So at the end of the day, it's just, you guys are thinking about the wrong cost. You guys are always thinking about financial. Time, how you feel, your confidence, your health. My God. You're looking at it the complete wrong way. Because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you the most in the long run. You just can't feel it yet. Because I can't imagine how much insulin, blood pressure medications, all these other meds I can't think of on top of my head, how much they actually cost, especially if you do out of pocket or throughout the years. So, all right, we get canceled.
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. That's fine. That's fine. We'll go make a call to, I don't know, Andrew Tate or some shit, and we'll fucking hop on that into the manosphere. It's fine. I don't know.
All right. God. Well, is there anything on top of your head? Because we'll probably do one more. Any like big objections that you can think of?
Okay. I don't want to restrict myself. I don't I get a lot of people who talk about they want to still enjoy, like everything that life has to offer them. They don't want to restrict themselves. And in reality, I think it's like such like a false statement in general, right? Like, they don't want to, you don't want to like apply these fucking restrictions to yourself. You don't want to you are applying so many more restrictions to yourself by not doing it, right? So you don't want to eat a certain way. You want to go to the gym to work out. Cool. Then by happenstance, you also don't want to go out as much, enjoy yourself as much, right? Because then you're going to gain more weight. You're going to feel worse and worse and worse. You're going to get fatter. You're just going to you're going to lose energy. You're going to have just fall into that, hole forever. and it's just like a constant, like just undertow, just like pulling you down. People that like people that don't restrict themselves, at least like not even all the time. Like I eat whatever I want, like a lot of the time, right? Like there are days where I have like a lot of discipline. I eat mostly just like my very clean meals, which are still pretty good. I'm not like, I do decent job cooking them, tastes fine to me. I have decent like high standards, and my meals are just nice enough that I can like, I can eat them and I can enjoy myself in the moment. But I also go and have everything else too. Like I go out and I have burgers, I have pizza, I have a beer once in a while. Like it's a more all-encompassing lifestyle, and the more you get into it, the more you realize like how many doors it opens up to enjoy yourself further on. Whereas you, somebody listening to this, maybe you don't have that option, maybe because you're not as active as I am, then like you can't have those things because it puts you further and further into that hole, and you're just like digging yourself deeper. Whereas like, I can do it as often as I feel like it, and I maintain. I don't get any worse. I can still improve and have the things that I enjoy. Whereas other people just don't have that option because they just don't do as much as I do. That's really it. I mean,
It's true.
Yeah. How about you, sir? People don't want to restrict themselves. Like, what would you say to them?
I think you nailed most of them on the head already. But the people who don't want to restrict themselves and still get results, I think it comes down to the thought process of it. And I think you mentioned it perfectly. It's freedom, right? You build the skills to learn freedom. In this case, with food, with exercise, with lifestyle. And I think it comes down to three parts, and I'll break it down simply. So one is misconception. So most people that we work with, or that we work with, that we talk to online, is like they think they have to do so much more. 5 days, 6 days a week in the gym, chicken, rice, and broccoli, all this kind of stuff. But it's a misconception. Like you don't even know the science to the reason why you get results, right? That's our job. And why we lay it out so easily is as simple as this: 2 workouts a week that are flexible, minimum, right? We make sure we build the habits in a sequential order, right? So then when you do tie it to numbers, it becomes super easy. And then you can do it for the rest of your life because you understand the numbers. It gives you freedom. Okay. So right now is you're not moving, you're not exercising or doing it correctly. Then you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to have a burger, chicken fingers. I want to go out here and drink beer or drink wine. And it's like, you can, but because you're not doing the things leading up to that, you're not going to be aligned with your goals. And it's going to be so much harder to stick to it. So it comes down to a couple of things. For freedom, in the beginning, you're just going to have to learn how to do this. And it's just part of the process. But once you get past that like hard low, and you start getting small wins, you start to realize like you actually have more freedom to do what you want. So Brett and I can go get burgers and steaks and fries, milkshakes. I don't have a milkshake in 10 years, but whatever the hell we want to, but still also know how to navigate that and enjoy it for the rest of our lives. So that's one is freedom, is that it's a skill set. It's learning how to do it so you know how to do it for the rest of your life. And once you treat it like a skill set, then you realize like, oh, it's just like leveling up. And it becomes enjoyment because every level is a step of that you can easily take to keep getting better and better and better to the point where it becomes automated, which is level 7, right? Especially of our system, the behavioral mapping sequence. But that's 1. 2, the all or nothing mentality, right? It's more of like, I'm always all in, I'm always all out. So when people, and I think of somebody, I won't say his first name, I'll say Mr. Horton. And if he's listening to this right now, it's because we love you, because you got good results in the beginning. This was 100% you, and I'm going to call you out for it. When I first met Mr. Horton, he was like, I'm a foodie. I enjoy food. I love food. I live, die, breathe food. And I was like, same here. I grew up that way. And that's the issue, is that we confide in food for everything. And we think that we have to restrict our entire lives around it. So we just have to eat the most boring, bland food. But it's not. It's not the case at all, right? What we do is teach you how to navigate it within your life. That's all it is. So yeah, you probably can't have cheesesteaks every single day of the week. Like, that's just unrealistic. But could you have a cheesesteak once a week within the right size, within the right context? Absolutely.
Of course.
And we want you to. We want you to have that pizza, that glass of wine, that beer. That's the enjoyment of all of this. But which honestly leads to the number 3 is your value of your health, the food, of fitness, the value of it. Because right now, the perception you have is I'm just going to eat because I enjoy the taste. I enjoy how it makes me feel in the moment. But the moment that you switch it to, how does it make me feel after I eat it? How does my stomach feel? How does my digestion feel? How does my mental clarity, my mental sharpness feel? Right? Am I running to the bathroom in the next 10 minutes? Right? Like, start to piece this together as you go along with this process, and you will realize, like, yeah, sure, I could have that cheesesteak that's super greasy, made with, the fake meat that doesn't even make sense, with the cheese that's somehow not made with any milk, and then the bread that has no flour in it somehow, and be like, huh, well, it tasted good, but then I also was on the bathroom taking a shit for 25 minutes. And it's like, is that, like, now you're going to start to realize, was that worth it? Like, hey, after I eat this at lunch, I fall asleep at my desk. It's like, is that worth it though? Like, you're trying to get promoted at work. You're trying to do better for yourself, but you're falling asleep and nodding off like this. For those who are watching this on YouTube, after your 12 o'clock lunch hour, like, is that worth it to you? It becomes a value proposition. Okay. It's an opportunity cost every single time that you think about food. Or even fitness. For every workout that you miss, or the workouts that you miss that you're supposed to do, it's like that's energy that's given back to you. Because if everybody thinks like, oh, working out is like this miserable thing, when it's really, it's like you're putting energy to get energy out, right? Just like one of Newton's laws, right? Energy that stays in motion will continue to stay in motion unless stopped upon. It's really what it is. So it comes down to 3 major parts. So if you think to yourself, like, I have to restrict myself, it's like, there is going to be some discipline going to be built. But the point is that we have made it so simple and easy to the point where it almost feels like you don't have to do anything. It doesn't feel like you're changing at all throughout this process. And then 6 months later, you're changed. And it's because we do a Miyagi, mindfuck, wax on, wax off motion 6, 7 times. This is I'm playing with boobs.
Nice.
But we make it as simple as possible, because this is a psychological transformation first and foremost. And once you realize that it's psychological first, everything else follows. And Jaime said that himself too, which was, amazing. The fact that he just figured that out on his own. He's like, my mindset changed, my body changed, my health changed. And it's as simple as that. Anything else to add to that, Brett? Just
no. That's it. We're good.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you guys for watching this podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and follow us on my Instagram. Mine is Coach_Chris Lee. All right. Thanks for watching the show.